Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. If you're new, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. This is a channel where I talk about my faith and I talk about budgeting. And today we are talking about budgeting. Also, if you are one of my subscribers, thank you so much for being a subscriber. And thank you for coming back and watching my budget videos or my faith videos, whichever one or both that you are watching. I appreciate your support and let's dive right in. Today is September 6th. This is Sunday and I'm about to do a couple things. So I'm going to check in with my paycheck to paycheck budgeting. I'm just going to kind of review and show that. I had two paychecks that came very close together, only the first and the fourth. So there was only 3 days, basically 2 days in between, and then I had two checks. So I really didn't want to do too much paycheck to paycheck because they were so close together. And I had to separate them so they would all fit on the way I wrote them out on the paper. So I'll be showing you that. And then I'll also be doing our weekly check-in. And it's going to look a little different because of how I budgeted my weekly spending. And you're going to see that I'm all in the red, but it's not that bad because honestly, because I already have these two checks, I'm still good for how much money I need all the way up to the 17th before my husband gets paid again. So even though weekly I'm over, for paycheck to paycheck, I am not over. And I know that might sound a little confusing, so hopefully I can explain it and it not be confusing. So let's dive right in. Paycheck to paycheck. I think this is it. Yep. Here we go. So paycheck one was day 1 through 3. And as you can see, I had a lot of transactions happening at once. And I usually do at the first of the month. So a lot of things that came in, a lot of things that went out, and then some extra spending that I did not plan on, but I went ahead and did. I believe I've already recorded this and shown this. Here's paycheck 2. And what I did is I balanced forward what happened here, right here, because that was the actual cash in the checking account when this new deposit was made. And then I adjusted for a sinking fund that I have in a separate savings account. I just transferred over to my checking. And then on an automatic withdrawal for Amazon Prime will come out later. So I went ahead and put the money in. It doesn't actually affect the budget because it's added in and subtracted out within a week. And my numbers don't really change because I had the cash on hand. And that's what I love about sinking funds. You put them aside in a separate savings account, or you keep them in cash, or however you want to do it. Or you can even leave them as a buffer in your checking, just never use it and kind of don't count it when you're looking at your numbers. And when the time for the money to come out, you just include it in your budget. You take it out of your budget. And the money is just right there. It's cash you already have on hand. So I love sinking funds. I use them for mostly my annual expenses that pop up, annual subscriptions to things. So yeah, that was awesome. So I'm moving on from there. Paycheck 2. These are the bills that are coming out. This is what I already have coming out or came out, because some of them come out a little earlier than the due date, which is fine because if it's on a payday and I could go ahead and schedule it to come out, like my utilities, I schedule with my web bill pay at my bank, and I always schedule them on a payday and the payday before that they're due, but I mark them in my calendar on the day that they're due so I don't forget when they have to be paid at a minimum. So yeah, that's why my electric's already paid. Big electric bill, but it's $10 less than last month, so I'm happy about that. We just kind of know that the electric's going to go way up just because my husband keeps the house pretty cool, 69, 70 degrees for a overheating problem that he has all the time. So that's just how we live, and we're willing to spend the money on it, and that's what we do. And these are auto drafts, and they have specific dates, so they'll come out when they're drafted. And these are my spending categories. I have 4: grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gasoline. Now this is what I budgeted for the entire paycheck 2, which is the 4th through the 17th. But you're going to see over here, I broke that down even smaller for week to week. And so it's going to put me negative. Even though I'm not negative for the entire paycheck period, I am negative for the week. And all that means is that negative number is going to be borrowing for from the next week's budgeted number. So, and I'll show you that in a minute. One thing I rarely ever do, but I have done this paycheck period, is this personal cash, $31. And it's an odd amount, and I understand that, but I'll explain what that means in a minute because it's related to this $65 cash landscaping. I always pay my landscaper in cash, just how he prefers it and how he does his business, and this $31. So I'll come back to that in a minute, but I'll explain why it's broken up like that. And this is what my budgeted buffer was in my checking account. So anything I have over here that's zero in the budgeted column will come out of this buffer. So like this $31 actually comes out of this buffer. That's going to reduce the buffer. Just like over here where I'm in red, it has zeros. That's going to come out, lower the buffer significantly. So let's get to our weekly check-in. All right, here's my weekly check-in calendar. This is where I track my expenses for spending in the category of grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gasoline. Now these sheets that you're seeing with this beautiful lavender and floral print at the top, these are my budget sheets, and I actually sell them in my Etsy store. It's Labor Day weekend, the day I'm recording it. So I believe there's a sale. I scheduled a sale for my shop. They're pretty inexpensive, so go check it out. And if you want any of these budget sheets, I have available in my store for the month of September. And as you can see, I love having it on the calendar. I can mark my paydays. I can mark any no spend days, and I only had one. And I can put over here a breakdown of how many weeks I planned for the month. And this one's going to be a 5-week month. And then how much money per week I have available in my 4 categories combined. And their dates right here. So I'm really excited about this. This is new to me. I'm still figuring out how to do a weekly check-in because this is the second month I've done it. And so it's kind of new to me in the sense of actually working the sheets. But I want to work the sheets because I want you guys to see how you can use them. And you don't have to use them exactly how I do, but you can use them however that works for you. Because everybody gets paid different. Everybody, some people have inconsistent income. Some people have regular income. Sometimes some people only get it in the first of the month, and then they pay everything all at once, and then what's left until the next pay in the next month. So there's so many variety of ways you can have these sheets work however you want that works best for you. So I do my weekly check-in from Sunday to Saturday. Now, obviously, I have this here because I ran out of room over here, but these 2 days were September, and I actually didn't count these 2 days. Like I said, this is over here because I couldn't, it just didn't fit very well, and I didn't want to cover my payday sticker or the date, so I just stuck it here. So all this came out on the 1st, and I always spend a lot of money on the 1st or on a payday because when that check comes in, we get excited and we're like, oh, let's go shopping. Let's go have a little bit of fun because we feel like we're holding back so much. So this is going to be a 5-week month. So the 1st through the 5th, the 6th through the 12th, 13th through the 19th, 20th through the 26th, and this 27th through the 30th. Then my husband gets paid again on the 1st, and it happens all over again. So this is October. So let's get started. All right, I already have my little labels here. I use highlighters, and these are the highlighters I use. They're Frixon erasable highlighters, and I love them. I love the colors. They're very pastel. They're very pretty. On camera, it may not be easy to see because I just kind of put the color over the little white check box, but I know what it is by the title and the little color I put on the highlighter. I just don't buy enough. I could buy if I wanted to, but since this is new to me, I don't know how many stickers I really need when I order expense stickers, so I'm using one color only. I could color code in these same colors for expense stickers. I just haven't done that yet, and I haven't committed to doing that yet, so that's why I do it this way. And so let's get started. Put my markers or my highlighters away. All right, we are going to do just the categories listed over here. I'm going to total up for the week. And then after I total up for like grocery, household, and all the other categories, I am going to come over here and I'm going to put what we actually spent. And this is the weekly check-in sheet. And I love these sheets. They're working out really good. I budget a specific amount, like I said, per week. Now you don't have to do it this way. You can like have your entire months at the beginning and then just divide it or deduct as you go along, or you can divide it and try to stay within that budget amount that you created for yourself. There's so many ways of doing it. It's just whatever makes sense to you in your mind, that's how you should do it. So I'm going to write how much we spent, what the balance was, and then I'm going to set up week 2 and what the new budget amount is. Because what I do is if I'm over budget, and I am over budget in all 4 categories for the first week, because we spend a lot in the first week, is I'm going to take these same numbers here and deduct whatever the overage is and then create a new budget. And this helps me stay within my goal of what I want to spend. And we always have for the month what we want to spend. So our totals we want to spend, see, grocery, household, I'm just going to abbreviate here, for the entire month is $1,000. And then our restaurants is always $650. It's a good number for us. Allows us to have a little bit of fun, still pay off debt, and work the budget. So there's some nights just mama can't cook and I just need a break and it's just a crazy day, so we go grab something to eat. And I think we all have those little crazy days. So miscellaneous, and that is $550. Instead of separating out beauty and maybe clothing or shoes or random stuff that we buy, I always just create a large miscellaneous category, and anything that doesn't fit in grocery, household, or restaurants goes in this category right here. And then gasoline. This month we're only doing $150 because still not going to the office much, but that might pick up. And if you divide all these by 5, I'm just going a little divide by 5 here. That is how I got my 5-week schedule. So that would be, well, I don't need to divide it because it's over here. And that means each week it's estimated $200 for grocery, household. Each week is $130 for restaurant estimate. And then miscellaneous, that would be $110 each week. And then gas would be $30. Now you're going to see here in a minute, even though $30 overage, or $30 is what I put, I spent way more than that because we have 2 vehicles. We're getting low on gas at about the same time. Normally they're off different weeks, but we've been doing a little more driving than usual. And so we know that on the 4th, my husband got paid, but he also got paid on the 1st. So one check covered one, the next check covered the other. It just didn't fall into the 2nd week or the 3rd week. So it's not that big a deal. So these are my spending categories weekly. Let's go back to the calendar and we will add up what our groceries were for the week. So I had a food line for $15.89, and this is kind of funny. It's not even groceries, but I bought it at Food Lion. And so if it's at a grocery store and it's just a grocery store, I put it under grocery, household. I guess you can count this as household. Our propane tank for our grill ran out of gas, usually does by this time of the summer. And so we bought it, traded in the propane tank and got a new one. And I had a $3 coupon, so I went to Food Lion and get it. So I do count it with the grocery household category. Walmart was mostly just grocery household altogether, which was $196.49. I got some meats, I got some produce and some, lots of milk because we drink a lot of milk in our house, and all kinds of stuff that we needed there, lunches and dinner stuff. And then one more for $106. Oh shoot, I did it twice, I didn't mean to. $15.89 plus the $196.49 plus the $106.14. There we go. All right. So for the whole week, we spent $318.52. And if you saw, I only budgeted for $200 for the week, which means $118.52 was being borrowed from week 2. So I will deduct that from week 2 and have a new balance there. So let's go ahead and mark and get this set up. How much I spent, and that was $3,852. And what we'll do here is take the 200 minus 318.52, and that gives us a negative number, or over budget, even though the money was in the bank and it's for the paycheck period, we're fine. But for the weekly spending, what I was hoping for, we're not so fine. But that's usually how I spend, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, I'm gonna clear that out. Let's do the restaurant and all the other categories. Restaurants. So we did a big home delivery of Red Robin for 4 adults and an appetizer, so it was quite a bit, and a tip. So that's quite a bit of money, but we like to do that about once a month or so, to do a big one like this. $75.08. The kids like it. We enjoy it. It's just something different, so other than pizza. So Red Robin, Chick-fil-A. I had breakfast at Chick-fil-A before I went shopping one day. Papa John's, our Friday night pizza night with the boys. And let's see, we're still watching The Mandalorian. We still have 3 episodes left, and the boys are loving it. So that was awesome. 1916. And then my husband went and got duck donuts, which are really yummy. Oh, yummy donuts. And I think I'm missing something. Target. Oh, Taco Bell. I forgot Taco Bell. 1681. There we go. Now my number's correct. I kind of have numbers off to the side here, but I still want to add them for you guys. Move this over to the side. And we spent $172.59. Like I said, I'm borrowing from week 2 because paycheck, the second paycheck of the month actually came through during the middle of this week. So that's why I am over budget here, because I'm borrowing from this week too. And I don't mind doing it because I have enough money to cover the first 3 weeks of my budget. So that works for me. All right, 130 minus 172.59. But doing it this way and doing the weekly check-in does keep me accountable, keeps me reining it in, going, okay, you spent quite a bit on the first, but you don't have to quite spend as much here on the second week, and then maybe a little more on the third week. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. Miscellaneous, here we go. How many miscellaneous? So that's in the green color. So I have an Etsy for $228. I have an Amazon $47.07. And I just bought a lot of random stuff. My husband needed, did my husband need anything? I don't know, I just bought a lot of little random stuff that we could have got at Walmart, but I just didn't feel like going out to the store, so I just ordered on Amazon and had it sent. We had some stuff at Walmart that I purchased, some back to school stuff, a whiteboard, dry erase whiteboard, because my son's online school for the first 9 weeks of the school year, things like that. So I'm gonna add the $22.51. And then the next thing we have is Target over here. So I did promise I would tell you guys. $48.64. And I will get to Target in just a minute and explain something to you guys. Because that was a fun trip to Target. Let's see. 120.05. So 110 minus 120.05 05, is that right? No, 50. I always write things backwards. There we go. 110 minus 120 and 50 cents. There we go. I did not do that right, did I? Minus 120.5 is $10.50. That's what I was looking for. There we go. All right, so what I had done is I went to Target. And I went to Target because my son wanted a new Lego kit, or a couple new Lego kits. Here's my actual Target receipt. And so while I was at Target, well, before I left for Target, my son gave me literally the money he's been saving up since, I guess, last summer or whatever. He had $96, and he wanted I wanted to get him a new Lego kit. He had some money. I'm like, do you want me to go shopping for you? Because his grandparents just gave him $20 the other day. And I said, you want me to see if there's something at the store? And he's like, sure. And I realized he had $96 that he had saved up, including the 20 he had just got. And I said, wow, dude, you can get a couple really good Lego kits with that kind of money. And he's like, okay. So he told me what he wanted. We went online. We figured out what was at Target. And he gave me $96 cash. I spent $144.64 at Target, but I only accounted for $48.64. And the reason being is because my son gave me $96 in cash, even though I didn't give it to the teller, I used that cash to cover, find my wheat chew, my landscaping, $65 for landscaping. And after I took the money out for that, I still had $31 left over. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to deduct it here so that my accounting would work right, because I didn't put it with the expenses in the miscellaneous category. I deducted it here so it would come out, because it has to be accounted for somewhere, because I did get $144.64 charge. So the 31 plus the 65 plus this Target charge for $48.64 will all combine together and show that I have covered the cost. I just thought it was great that my son had cash and I didn't have to go to the ATM to get my landscaper's cash and get $5 extra at the grocery store in order to get cash back. So he had the money. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to swap it out. So that's what I did here. And it covered all this in cash that I normally do. And some of it I don't normally do, like personal money I normally don't do. I usually just run my debit card and put it under miscellaneous. But yeah, I thought that was really neat that he paid for his own Legos. And I used that cash to cover a couple other categories. And there you go. So thought I'd share that with you guys. Miscellaneous is done, and now gasoline. So we did have 2 gas purchases. Now I could have waited till week 2 to get gas, but I just did not feel like running back out on Sunday. And Monday, I had to have it in the tank before Monday. And I bought gas that was a little more expensive. Once every few months or so, I will buy premium gas at Exxon, which has the additives that help keep the engine clean and running. I try not to buy too cheap of a gas that kind of can gunk up your car and stuff. So it's a Exxon gas pump, but it's got a 7-Eleven store. It used to be just all 7-Eleven, but they put Exxon, I don't know, the hybrid thing. I don't know what it was, but it has the Exxon gas with the stuff that we like to have in it. So we have 2 gas transactions, my husband's Jeep and my Armada, and we probably will not need gas again until after the 18th, towards the end of the month. So that'll work. 26.96 and 55.74. And we spent $82.70 in gas. It'll last us a while. Now we're going to be over a little bit. That's okay, because like I said, I'm borrowing money from the other pay periods or weekly check-ins in order to cover this because I already have the money in the account because of how the paychecks fall. So 82.70 and 30 minus 82.70, and that leaves overage of 52.70. Now, as I go into week 2, I'm still going to be negative for gas, but I'm not going to need to get gas during week 2, so that's okay. And then for week 3, I'm going to be positive again, but I still won't need gas right away, and it'll probably be week 4 that I'll need the gas. So then we'll have enough in the gas tank for that. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to take, these are my budgeted amounts, like I showed you over there, for 5, that I divided for 5 weeks. And I'm going to reallocate this money to fit the new budget numbers. So here we go. I'm going to take, let me just write my categories real quick. All right, so I'm going to take my categories here. So you take the 200, that's the new budget for the week, and you deduct any negative. And this is just how I do it. You don't have to do it this way. If you have another system that works for you, that's what you should do. And you can still reuse the same budget sheets. It just depends on how you want to do it. So I'm going to take the 118.52. Now the reason I do this is because I want to stay within my $1,000 budget for the entire month of September. So I am only giving myself $81.48 for week 2. Will I stay in the budget? I might go a little bit over. Hopefully I don't, well, no, I'll probably go way over. Yeah, because I still have week 3 I can borrow from. It's all the same paycheck and it should be fine if I buy it here if I need it. And then we'll adjust further down the road. Let's see, restaurants. I'm going to take the 130. I'm going to minus this 42.59, and that gives me 84 cents, or 84 cents, geez, 87.41 cents. I might go a little over, but I think next week we should do pretty good, but we'll have to wait and see. So 110 minus $10.50. This is going to be a good category. It's only going to be, it's a little bit less, not a lot. $99.50. And then gasoline, like I said, I'm still going to be over. It's going to be $30 minus the $52.70. So I'm still going to be $22 over, but I won't need it until I get to almost week 4. So I'm not too worried about this. $22.70. And this just gives me a picture of checking in by the week. Not am I really over or under. Just because we don't get paid weekly, it doesn't affect. I can see a pattern. I can see, okay, yes, I wanted to do budget $200 a week for grocery household, but that doesn't really look realistic for the way we shop, so I just borrow from the other weeks. I may have to change this again. I'm just trying to come up with a style that works, and I may actually do weekly check-ins based on paycheck to paycheck, but that'll be in October, and we'll have to wait and see on that. So let's go back. I'm going to put in my numbers here for my totals real quick. 200 plus 130 plus 110 plus 30, and that gives me, wrong pen, 470 for the week. And now we're going to add up what I actually spent. 318.52 plus 172.59 plus 120.50 plus 82.70. Here we go. So I spent almost $700 here. Make sure I got my number right. I don't think I have a sheet that shows me that. So, okay. 694.31 minus 470, which is what I budgeted. So I should be negative. Yes, that's the right number. So if I total this up in the negative, it will, I don't know if it'll let me do that. Anyways, I'll total it up like that. 8.52 plus 42.59 plus 10.50 plus 52.70. There we go. Came up with the same number. It's just negative, not actually positive. So 224.31. So I spent $224.31 of week 2 and 3. And that is okay because I had 2 paychecks that happen in this 1 week that's supposed to carry me over till the 17th. And the 18th, there's a new check that'll cover the last day of the week 3 going into 4 all the way to the end of the month. So as far as my paycheck period, I'm fine. I am over for the first week, but I'm just kind of borrowing from these weeks. So I do know that. I also budget a second way. This is just the weekly check-in. I like this a lot. It helps me to kind of grasp, do I need to rein it in a little bit every week? Is there a new way of shopping or something that I can come up with? And I'm not sure yet. I haven't really pushed the issue too much for myself personally, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, and I did not check these off. I never do this. I did not check these off before I finished up. So I'm going to go ahead and check all these so that I know that I went through all my expense stickers and added them up for each category, and we're good to go. So, but I do have these transaction logs that I use. Oops, there we go. Grocery household. So even though my weekly check-in says one thing, that I overspent and I only have $81 for week 2, if I combine week 2 with week 3, I would have $281.48. See, there's the $81.48, and then I normally would have for week 3 $200. So I actually shop based off of this number, but the weekly check-in keeps me in balance of, am I spending a lot during a week, Sunday to Saturday week period. So that's why I like this. But this, I'm not really in the red for anything. I mean, I was for after the first of the month. Yeah, just a little bit there. But I did make my paycheck to paycheck budgeting on these transaction logs fit closely to the weekly check-in. A lot easier. So if you take like the 1st through the 3rd, these were the 1st through the 5th, $200. And then if you add these 2 weeks together where I have here, then that would be $400 for grocery household, and then these 2 would be $400. So I did match that instead of dividing it by the number of days this time. And I like that a lot better, actually. I think it works and it simplified it a little more for me and gave me a little more wiggle room, I think. So that's kind of awesome. My miscellaneous, see, I have $200 here, and then here I'm not even over budget in gasoline because I'm counting the entire 2 weeks weekly check-ins that I haven't gotten to yet, and it's $7.30, and I know I won't need it before the next, any more gas before the next paycheck period, so I'm not worried about it. So yeah, that is my budget for this week. I really hope it made sense. If there was anything you would like me to clarify or confuse you a little bit, please let me know. I would love that kind of feedback. I hope that right now your budget is doing well and that you've had a great start to the month of September, and that you just keep moving forward, working the baby steps, working slowly, whether your goals are paying off debt, to save money, to have a goal for, purchasing a new car or a new home, or whatever the situation is for you and your family. I really pray and hope that you have an amazing month in your budget. I do want to make note that right here, Lisa's cell phone, the one I'm recording on right now, I paid the lease off. I am so excited about that. That was my goal for the month of September, to pay this lease off. I paid off all 4 leases on all 4 cell phones in my family, and we own all 4 phones. And I discovered for the, I don't have it filled out yet. For my monthly budget, and this is my monthly budget view, I did get the bill for my Sprint, and the bill was $275 and some change. And I'll go back and find that change, whatever it is. And that's what the actual amount's going to be. And actually, I'm going to hold off on that a little bit longer now that I think about it, because, and I forgot this last month, every month there's a $10 discount that comes right before I have to pay it. And I paid the bill too soon last month, so I paid $10 more than I needed. I'm kind of messing my page up. That's okay. I'll white it out later. But yeah, so my phone bill dropped quite a bit, about $45, probably $55 by the end of the month. And I'm excited to get rid of those leases and drop my phone bill by $55 and be under $300, which we have not seen in 10 years probably, because of all the leases and the insurances and stuff for all of cell phones, that my Sprint bill is dropping really, really low. So I am excited about that, and so glad I got rid of that debt. My new debt starting in October I'm going to be paying off is the last part of my school loans, so look for that coming up. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And I hope you have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.